Do you keep delaying things because you're afraid of failing? Procrastination often looks like laziness on the surface, but deep down it's usually something else. Fear. The fear of failing. The fear of not being good enough. The fear of trying and proving your own doubts right. So instead of taking action, you wait. You overthink, you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week, and next week turns into months. You're stuck in the same place. Not because you can't move forward, but because you're afraid to. Stoicism teaches a different way of looking at failure. It doesn't see failure as something to avoid. It sees it as something necessary. Because failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every mistake carries a lesson. Every setback shows you something you didn't know before. Something you couldn't learn just by thinking or planning. But here's the problem. When you're afraid of failure, you don't just avoid failure. You avoid growth. You avoid experience. You avoid becoming better. And in trying to protect yourself from pain, you end up trapping yourself in comfort. But comfort is where progress dies. Think about it. No one becomes strong by staying where it's safe. No one builds confidence by avoiding challenges. The people you admire, the ones who succeed, they didn't get there because they never failed. They got there because they didn't stop. They failed, learned, adjusted, and kept going. Again and again. So the real question is not, what if I fail? The real question is, what happens if I never try? Because the cost of inaction is far greater than the pain of failure. Failure is temporary, but regret it can last a lifetime. Stoicism reminds us that we don't control the outcome. We don't control whether we succeed or fail. But we do control one thing: action. You can choose to show up. You can choose to try. You can choose to take one step forward, no matter how small. And that step matters more than you think. Because action breaks fear. Not thinking, not waiting, not preparing endlessly. Action. The moment you move, even just a little, you prove to yourself that fear doesn't control you. And with every step, that fear becomes smaller. You don't need to be perfect to start. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to begin. Start messy. Start unsure. Start scared, but start. Because every small step you take is a victory over the version of you that wanted to stay stuck. And over time, those small wins build something powerful. Confidence. Not the kind that comes from success, but the kind that comes from showing up no matter what. Take one action today, no matter how small. Don't wait until you feel ready. Subscribe for more lessons on embracing failure and moving forward with courage.